The city lights always looked prettier when you had no one to share them with. Or maybe that was just me. Hana, 25 years old, and still a nobody. I trudged home after another overtime shift, my bag dragging at my shoulder, my shoes worn to the sole. The streets were buzzing with life, salarymen laughing outside izakayas, couples strolling hand in hand, students giggling with their friends. All of them seemed to belong somewhere. And me? I was just passing through. Some people fear being hated. I feared being forgotten. And in truth, I already was. I wasn't extraordinary at school. I wasn't bold at work. I wasn't the kind of person who made others say, "She changed my life." No. I was the type of person people barely remembered after graduation. And that was fine. Or at least, that's what I told myself. Until the loneliness crept in. Until the regrets began whispering at night. Regrets that all came back to one person. Minato. The boy with the quiet voice and the nervous laugh. The one who always carried extra pens because he knew I'd forget mine. The one who let me copy his notes during class, pretending not to notice when my hands shook. The boy I admired for 3 long years of high school, without ever saying a single word of what was in my heart. He was my first crush. My only crush. And my biggest regret. At 25, I hadn't seen him in years. I didn't know what he was doing now, whether he was dating someone, whether he was married. Maybe he'd forgotten me altogether. I tilted my head back at the night sky, the city glow drowning out most of the stars. If only I'd told you back then, I whispered to no one. Maybe things would have been different. The crosswalk light blinked green. I stepped onto the street, too lost in my thoughts to notice the blinding headlights hurtling toward me. Screech. A horn ripped through the night air. My heart lurched into my throat. Then came the pain. Bone-crushing, suffocating pain. My body crumpled to the asphalt. People screamed. I could hear them calling for help, but their voices were distant, as though I were underwater. All I could think about was him. Minato. His shy smile. His scrawled notes. The way he chewed his pen cap when he was deep in thought. My chest burned, not from the injury, but from the words I never had the courage to say. If only I could go back. If only I had another chance. The world dimmed. The voices faded. The stars above blurred into streaks of light. And then, nothing. I woke with a gasp. My eyes flew open, lungs burning as though I'd been drowning. I sat up abruptly. The ceiling above me wasn't a hospital's sterile white panels. It was beige, with faint cracks spidering out from the corners. I knew this ceiling. Heart pounding, I stumbled out of bed. My body felt different. My arms thinner, my hands smaller. I rushed to the mirror in the corner of the room and froze. The face staring back wasn't the worn, tired face of a 25-year-old woman. It was me. 16-year-old me. My hair was tied into a messy ponytail. My cheeks still held baby fat. My school uniform, too big for my frame, was crumpled from sleep. "No way," I whispered, my voice trembling. This has to be a dream." I pinched my arm hard. Pain shot through me. Not a dream. The calendar on my wall read, April 200X. My second year of high school. I staggered backward, heart racing. Had I really gone back? On my desk, something caught my eye. A leather-bound notebook lay neatly in the center, as though it had been waiting for me. It wasn't mine. I had never owned something so old-fashioned, so carefully kept. The cover was dark brown, the edges worn but intact. My fingers shook as I reached for it. When I opened the first page, my breath caught. A name was written there, in neat handwriting. Minato. My hands went numb. And beneath his name, words that made my chest tighten so hard I thought I'd faint. Day 102. I saw Hana today. She smiled, and it felt like the sun came out just for me. I blinked rapidly, rereading the sentence until the letters blurred. My name. He had written my name. Frantically, I turned the pages. Every entry, every word, was about me. She dropped her eraser again. I wanted to pick it up, but my hands froze. She laughed at something her friend said. I wished it had been me who made her laugh. I like her. No, I know I do. My hand flew to my mouth, muffling a strangled sound. My eyes stung. All those years I thought I was invisible. All those years I believed I was too plain, too ordinary for someone like him to notice. And yet he had. He liked me. He liked me all along. The notebook trembled in my grip as tears blurred the ink. My heart hammered wildly in my chest. Was this real? Was this fate's way of giving me another chance? I closed my eyes, clutching the diary to my chest. This time, I whispered shakily, I won't mess it up. But when I opened my eyes, my stomach dropped. Because standing in the doorway of my room, his school bag slung casually over his shoulder, was Minato himself. Our eyes met. And my heart nearly stopped. Ha, Hana. His voice froze me where I stood. I whipped my head around, clutching the diary against my chest like a criminal caught red-handed. There he was. Minato. 16-year-old Minato. His hair was slightly too long, his bangs brushing against his lashes. His school bag hung carelessly over his shoulder, and his shirt was half untucked, just as I remembered. My chest lurched. For 10 years, I'd only carried the memory of him, faded around the edges like an old photograph. And now he was standing in my doorway, looking exactly as he had the last time I saw him. Why you're here? I stammered. My voice cracked like a rusty hinge. Minato blinked, tilting his head slightly. Yeah. We walked to school together every morning. Did you forget? I almost dropped the diary. Walk to school together? Right, of course. Back then, our houses were only a few blocks apart. We didn't walk together on purpose. It just so happened our routes overlapped. But to think, after all these years, I had forgotten such a small, precious detail. My throat tightened. All right. Of course. I didn't forget. Why would I forget? He gave me a puzzled look. Are you okay? You're acting kind of weird. Weird. Oh no. He already noticed. I forced a laugh that sounded more like a dying animal. Weird? Me? Nope. Totally normal. Just, practicing lines for drama club. We don't have a drama club. I wanted to melt into the floor. Minato shrugged eventually, apparently deciding it wasn't worth pressing further. Anyway, hurry up, or we'll be late. Why yeah. Just give me a second. I squeaked. As soon as he disappeared down the hall, I collapsed onto my bed, clutching the diary so tightly my knuckles turned white. This wasn't just a notebook. It was his diary. His private thoughts, his hidden feelings, every page filled with words he would never dare say aloud. And all of it, about me. I flipped it open again, scanning the entries with wide eyes. Day 47. Hana forgot her lunch today. I wanted to share mine, but I chickened out. She smiled at someone else instead. Day 68. She tied her hair up for PE. I couldn't look away. Day 101. Sometimes I think about telling her. But what if she laughs? My heart squeezed painfully. He'd been just like me, terrified of rejection, convinced the other person didn't care. How many times had we both missed our chance, too afraid to take one small step? I slammed the book shut before I drowned in those thoughts again. No. Not this time. This time I knew. This time I had proof. And I was not going to waste it. The morning sun glared too brightly as I walked beside Minato to school, trying to act casual while my brain screamed at me. He walked with his usual slouch, hands in his pockets, eyes flicking occasionally to the sidewalk. He wasn't much of a talker, and neither was I. Except now my chest felt like a soda bottle someone had shaken too hard. Every step, I had to resist the urge to look at him to shout, I know you like me. Why are you staring at the ground like that? He asked suddenly. I nearly tripped. And no reason. Just checking for cracks. Safety first. He gave me a long, strange look. Okay then. We reached the school gates, where clusters of students chatted animatedly. The familiar chatter, the squeak of shoes on tile, the faint chalk smell. It all hit me like a wave of déjà vu. It was like stepping into a photograph of my past, only this time I knew how the story ended. Or rather, how it shouldn't end. In the classroom, my best friend Saya bounded over, her twin braids bouncing behind her. Hana, you're here early for once. I blinked. Say, I hadn't seen her in almost 10 years. She looked so young, so full of energy, not yet worn down by exams and jobs and life. Emotion clogged my throat. Saya. She paused. Yeah. Did you hit your head or something? Why are you looking at me like I just came back from the dead? I laughed shakily. No reason. I'm just happy to see you. Her eyes narrowed suspiciously. You're being weird. Oh no. Not her too. I forced a grin. Weird? Me. Totally normal. Same old Hana. Saya crossed her arms. Well, normal Hana doesn't blush when Minato walks by. I choked on my own saliva. What are you talking about? I'm not blushing. Your face is redder than a tomato. Lies. Saya smirked knowingly. I groaned and collapsed onto my desk, burying my face in my arms. This was impossible. How was I supposed to act normal when I literally knew all of Minato's secret thoughts about me? By lunchtime, my nerves were frayed. Minato sat by the window, eating his sandwich with the quiet focus of someone pretending not to notice the group of girls whispering about him. I fiddled with my chopsticks, sneaking glances. My brain screamed at me, talk to him. Sit with him. Do something. But my body refused to move. Until Saya, bless her meddling soul, shoved me. Go sit with him already. I can't. I hissed. What if he thinks I'm weird? He already thinks that. Thanks. Before I could protest further, Saya pushed me so hard I nearly stumbled right into Minato's desk. He looked up, startled. Hana. My face went nuclear. Hi. Can I sit here? He blinked, then nodded slowly. Sure. I sat down, my hands shaking so badly I almost dropped my chopsticks. My heart thundered in my chest. For a moment, silence stretched between us. Then, remembering the diary, I blurted, So, do you still like melon bread? His eyes widened. How did you know that? My stomach dropped. Oh no. That wasn't common knowledge yet. I mean, you look like someone who would like melon bread. I sputtered. Round face, soft. Soft smile. Haha. Totally just a guess. He stared at me for a long moment, then looked away, ears turning faintly pink. Yeah. I like it. I wanted to slam my head into the desk. Smooth. Hana. Real smooth. That night, back in my room, I collapsed onto my bed and dragged the diary out again. The latest entry made my heart stop. Day 103. Hana sat with me at lunch today. She asked about melon bread. How did she know? Did she notice me more than I thought? I squealed into my pillow, kicking my legs like a teenager. Well, technically I was one again. This was insane. He was writing about me right now. The diary wasn't just a record of the past. It was alive. Updating with his thoughts in real time. Which meant every little thing I did could change the story. I clutched the diary to my chest, grinning and terrified all at once. This time, I whispered, my heart racing, I won't let fear stop me. But as I turned off the light, one thought lingered in the back of my mind. If the diary was changing, then so was the future. The next morning, I stood in front of the mirror, psyching myself up like I was about to go into battle. Okay, Hana, I muttered, jabbing a finger at my reflection. Today you are cool. Casual. Totally normal. My reflection, with her wide eyes and stiff smile, did not look convinced. I groaned. If I keep acting suspicious, Minato's going to think I'm possessed or something. Operation Don't Be Awkward starts now. I slapped my cheeks, grabbed my bag, and marched out the door. Minato was waiting at the corner, just like he always did. He glanced up as I approached, his expression calm, unreadable. My heart immediately tried to leap out of my chest. Morning. I squeaked, then cleared my throat and lowered my voice. Morning. Totally normal greeting. Nothing weird about it. He blinked slowly. Right. Morning. We walked in silence. Every step felt like walking a tightrope. My brain screamed 1,000 thoughts at once. Don't mention the diary. Don't stare at him. Don't say anything weird. Just be cool. I stole a glance at him from the corner of my eye. He was fiddling with the strap of his bag, his bangs hiding half his face. The morning light made his profile look unfairly perfect. My heart gave a painful squeeze. How was I supposed to act normal when he was right there, breathing the same air, existing like some kind of beautiful daydream? "Why are you smiling like that?" he asked suddenly. I nearly tripped over my own feet. Smiling? I wasn't smiling. You were. Nope. Just gas. From breakfast. Gas. I wanted the earth to open up and swallow me whole. By the time we reached school, I was a sweaty, nervous wreck. Saya took one look at me and burst out laughing. "What happened to you? You look like you ran a marathon." "I was just walking," I muttered. "With Minato, right?" Her grin widened. "Oh, I see what's going on." "And nothing's going on." Sure. She leaned closer, whispering conspiratorially. "But seriously, Hana, if you keep staring at him like he's the last melon bread on earth, people are gonna notice." I smacked my forehead against my desk. I'm doomed. At lunch, I decided to test my self-control. I sat down across from Minato, determined to eat in silence like a normal human being. But then he pulled out his lunchbox. And inside, exactly as the diary had once described, was his favorite: fried chicken, rolled omelet, and rice with a pickled plum in the center. My brain short-circuited. I've read this exact description before. He really does love fried chicken the most. "Do you like fried chicken?" I blurted. He blinked. "Yeah, it's my favorite." I knew it. I slapped the table. He jumped, startled. How did you know that?" Panic. Think, Hana, think. I mean, statistically, fried chicken is the most popular food for boys our age, right? Haha. Totally logical deduction, not creepy at all. He stared at me, bewildered. Then, to my shock, the corners of his mouth curved up slightly. "You're weird." My heart stuttered. Not mocking. Not annoyed. Just amused. I quickly shoved rice into my mouth to hide my burning cheeks. After school, Saya dragged me out of the classroom before I could follow Minato. "All right, spill it," she demanded. I blinked innocently. "Spill what?" "Don't play dumb. You've been acting like a lovesick goldfish all week. Do goldfish even fall in love?" "Don't change the subject." She poked my cheek. "You like him, don't you?" I nearly choked on my own saliva. What? "No. Of course not. That's ridiculous." Saya raised an eyebrow. "Then why is your face red?" "It's hot out. It's April." "Shut up." She smirked. "Well, if you do like him, you better hurry. A lot of girls have their eye on him, you know." My stomach dropped. Right. I remembered that too. The whispers, the confessions he used to get behind the gym. The diary had mentioned them, though he'd always written, "I can't accept. There's someone else." Back then, I never realized that someone else was me. But now I had no excuse. That evening, I flopped onto my bed, dragging out the diary like it was contraband. The latest entry made my breath catch. Day 104. Hana was acting strange again today. She smiled a lot, even at little things. For some reason, it made me happy. I hope she keeps smiling like that. I squealed into my pillow, kicking my legs wildly. My face hurt from grinning. Then I froze. Because below that entry, new words were scribbling themselves across the page, ink appearing as if by magic. Maybe, should I ask her if she's free this weekend? My heart stopped. He was thinking about asking me out. I shot upright, clutching the diary like a lifeline. Oh, my God. The next day, I walked into class determined to stay calm. Totally calm. Absolutely not overreacting. Then Minato approached my desk. "Hana," he said quietly. My soul left my body. "Yes." He hesitated, scratching his cheek. "Are you free this weekend?" My brain exploded. Saya, sitting nearby, nearly fell out of her chair. "What?" "Shut up." I hissed at her, face blazing. I mean, maybe? Why? Minato shifted awkwardly, looking away. "There's a group outing. Some friends are going to the arcade. I thought maybe you'd like to come too." My heart melted into goo. He wanted me there. With him. I slapped my desk dramatically. "Yes. I'll go. The whole class turned to stare. I shrank into my seat, covering my face. Yeah, sure. Sounds fun. Minato's lips quirked in the faintest smile. Okay. I'll see you then. As he walked away, Saya leaned over whispering, Operation, don't be awkward, huh? I groaned. Shut up. That night, I opened the diary with trembling hands. The newest entry made me want to scream. Day 105. I asked Hana to come this weekend. She said yes. I can't stop smiling. I hugged the diary to my chest, tears pricking my eyes. For the first time in years, no, in 2 lives, I felt hope blooming in my heart. This time, I wouldn't let it slip away. The weekend arrived faster than I expected, and with it, a tidal wave of panic. I stood in front of my closet, hands on my hips, glaring at the pathetic lineup of high school uniforms, plain t-shirts, and jeans. What do I even wear to an arcade? I wailed. From the bed, Saya rolled her eyes. She had invited herself over the night before, partly to help, mostly to make fun of me. It's an arcade, Hana. Not a wedding. Just wear something casual. This is casual. I held up a hoodie. But what if he thinks I look sloppy? She smirked. You're already sloppy. I threw the hoodie at her. After nearly an hour of pacing and panicking, I settled on a light pink cardigan over a white blouse and jeans. Cute but not trying too hard. Hopefully. Saya gave me a once-over. Not bad. You look like a girl about to go on a date. It's not a date. I snapped, though my voice cracked halfway. Sure. She smirked knowingly. But I'll let you believe that. The arcade was buzzing with energy. Flashing neon lights, the clatter of coins, the rhythmic thump of dance machines. Groups of students milled around, laughing and shouting encouragement. I spotted Minato near the crane machines, his hands shoved in his pockets as he waited. He wore a casual jacket and sneakers, simple but effortlessly cool. My heart did a backflip. Hey, I greeted, trying not to sound like I was dying. He gave a small smile. You came. Of course. I wouldn't miss it. My voice squeaked. I coughed to cover it. Saya, standing beside me, elbowed me hard. I shot her a death glare, which she ignored. Our group ended up being 5 people. Me, Minato, Saya, and 2 of his classmates, Yuto and Kana. They quickly scattered toward the shooting games, leaving me and Minato lingering awkwardly near the crane machine. My palms were already sweating. So, I said, searching desperately for a topic. Do you, like crane games? He glanced at the machine, then shrugged. I'm not good at them. Perfect opening. I remembered a diary entry. Day 76. I wanted to win the plush keychain for Hana, but I wasted all my coins. She laughed at me, but it wasn't unkind. My chest warmed. He had tried back then. Determined, I dug a coin from my wallet. Then let me try. Sliding it in, I maneuvered the claw toward a stuffed rabbit. My hands shook from nerves, and the claw dropped pitifully short, barely nudging the toy. I groaned. Ugh, that was terrible. Minato chuckled softly. You were aiming too far left. He stepped closer, his shoulder brushing mine as he pointed at the machine. See? You have to line it up with the middle. My brain short-circuited. He was close, too close. I could smell his soap, feel the faint warmth radiating off him. All right. Middle. Got it. I tried again, following his instructions, and this time the claw gripped the rabbit, only to drop it halfway. I slumped. I give up. Without a word, Minato slid in his own coin. His movements were precise, steady, focused. The claw gripped the rabbit, held on, and miraculously, dropped it perfectly into the prize chute. He picked up the plush and held it out to me, his ears faintly pink. Here. I froze. My hands trembled as I accepted it. F for me. He scratched his cheek. You wanted it, right? My heart melted into a puddle. Thank you, I whispered. The rabbit wasn't just a toy. It was proof, his kindness, his quiet thoughtfulness. Proof that even if I didn't confess yet, he was already reaching out, in his own way. The rest of the outing passed in a blur of laughter and flashing lights. We played air hockey, where Saya gleefully crushed me while Minato stifled a laugh. We tried the dance machine, where I nearly fell on my face, and Minato awkwardly shuffled beside me, both of us red with embarrassment. We shared snacks, Hana teasing Minato for offering me the last takoyaki ball without hesitation. For the first time in forever, I felt like I was living in a dream I'd once lost. And yet, unlike before, I knew this wasn't just coincidence. This was my second chance. As the sun set, the group began to drift apart, heading home in different directions. Eventually, it was just me and Minato, walking down the quiet street. The evening air was cool, carrying the faint scent of blooming flowers. The rabbit plush sat snugly in my arms, and every time I glanced at it, my heart skipped. For a long time, neither of us spoke. Our footsteps echoed in sync. Finally, Minato cleared his throat. "Did you have fun today?" I looked up at him, startled. His gaze was fixed ahead, but his ears were red. "I did," I said honestly. "It was one of the best days I've had in a long time." He glanced at me then, just for a second. His lips curved faintly. "Good." The silence returned, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was warm. And then my heart stopped as he added, "Want me to walk you home?" For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Because I remembered, clear as day, one of his old diary entries. Day 89. I wanted to walk Hana home, but I was too scared to ask. Maybe next time. Back then, next time never came. But now, it was happening. My throat tightened with emotion. "Why yeah, I'd like that." We walked side by side under the fading light, the sky painted in shades of pink and orange. My heart hammered so loudly I was sure he could hear it. I wanted to say something. Anything. To thank him. To tell him how much this moment meant. But the words tangled in my throat. Finally, he broke the silence. "You've been acting different lately." My chest seized. Different? How? He hesitated. "I don't know. You just smile more. Like you're happier." I swallowed hard. "Is that a bad thing?" "No." His voice was quiet. "I like it." My breath caught. I clutched the rabbit plush tighter, afraid I might actually explode from happiness. When we reached my house, I turned to him, forcing myself to meet his gaze. "Thanks for today." "Really?" He nodded, shifting awkwardly. "See you tomorrow." As he walked away, I stood frozen in the doorway, my heart still racing. Then with shaking hands, I pulled out the diary from my bag. The newest entry made my knees buckle. Day 106. I walked Hana home today. She looked happy. I wanted to hold her hand, but I couldn't. Maybe someday. Tears welled in my eyes as I hugged the diary to my chest. Someday, I whispered to the fading sky. This time, I'll make sure it happens. The next morning, I woke up hugging the rabbit plush like it was a sacred relic. My face felt warm just remembering yesterday. He walked me home. He wanted to hold my hand. He smiled at me. I buried my face in the plush, kicking my legs under the blanket. Kaya! If 16-year-old me could see me now, she'd faint. But then the reality of today hit me like a bucket of ice water. School. Minato. I have to look him in the eyes after yesterday. Cue panic mode. Saya was less than sympathetic. "You look like you stayed up all night reading manga," she said as we walked to school. "I did not. I was just excited," I muttered, hugging the rabbit plush tightly in my bag. "Excited for what?" She smirked. "Oh, I get it. For him." "Shoo." I flailed. "Not so loud." She rolled her eyes. "Relax. Everyone already knows you like him." I froze. "What?" She laughed so hard she nearly tripped. "Kidding. Kidding. But seriously, Hana, your face is basically a neon sign." I groaned, covering my face. "I'm doomed." When I reached class, Minato was already at his desk. I took a deep breath, forced my legs to move, and sat down beside him. "Morning." He glanced up, his eyes soft. "Morning." That one word sent my heart soaring. For a few moments, I managed to act normal. We exchanged small talk about homework, the weather, even the new vending machine outside. Totally casual. Totally fine. Until I I had fun yesterday, I blurted, my cheeks heating. He blinked, then nodded slightly. Me too. And then silence. I panicked. My mouth moved faster than my brain. We should do it again sometime. Maybe just the two of us. I slapped my hands over my mouth. Oh no. Oh no no no. His eyes widened. Just the two of us? My soul left my body. I mean like as friends. Totally platonic. Haha. Smooth. Hana. Real smooth. Minato tilted his head, studying me with that unreadable gaze. Right. I wanted to sink through the floor. At lunch, Saya cornered me. You almost confessed, didn't you? I don't know what you're talking about, I said, shoving rice into my mouth. She leaned in, smirking. Hana. Your ears are glowing red. I slammed my chopsticks down. Okay, maybe I almost did. But then my brain betrayed me and my mouth went rogue. Saya burst out laughing. Honestly, I'm impressed you got that far. Baby steps. Baby steps? At this rate, I'd die of embarrassment before making it past step 1. After school, I found myself walking with Minato again. The street was quiet, the air warm with the scent of spring. I clutched the rabbit plush in my bag, my heart thundering. Say it. Hana. Just say it. Tell him you like him. You wasted one life already. Don't waste this one. Minato? My voice trembled. He glanced at me. Yeah. My mouth went dry. The words sat on my tongue, heavy and desperate. I like you. I've always liked you. But before I could speak, hey, Minato. A cheerful voice cut through the air. I turned to see Hana jogging toward us, waving. There you are. I wanted to ask if you could help with the math assignment. Minato blinked. Sure. Hana beamed, then noticed me and grinned. Oh, Hana's here too. You guys look close. My face went up in flames. We're not. Minato shifted uncomfortably. I'll see you tomorrow, Hana. And just like that, he walked off with Hana. I stood frozen, my heart sinking. The words I almost said dissolved into the evening air. Back home, I collapsed onto my bed, yanking out the diary. My hands shook as I flipped to the latest entry. Day 107. I walked Hana home again today. She looked like she wanted to say something, but she didn't. I wonder what it was. Tears stung my eyes. He'd noticed. Of course he had. I pressed my forehead against the pages, whispering, I'm such a coward. But then, new words slowly appeared beneath his writing, ink forming as if the diary were alive. I wish she knew. I'd say yes. My breath hitched. Yes. If I confessed, if I finally said it, he wouldn't turn me away. The realization crashed over me like a wave, filling me with dizzy, terrifying hope. I clutched the diary to my chest, my heart pounding. This time, I whispered into the quiet room, I won't let the moment slip away. Spring had a cruel way of reminding me that time didn't stop for love-struck fools. The cherry blossoms were in full bloom, petals fluttering through the air like confetti. It should have been romantic. Magical even. But for me, it was the beginning of a nightmare. Because that morning, the whispers started. Did you hear? Ayaka's going to confess to Minato. No way. She's gorgeous. Of course he'll say yes. They'd make such a perfect couple. Ayaka. I knew that name. Everyone did. She was smart, athletic, and beautiful in that effortlessly cool way. The kind of girl who seemed untouchable, like she belonged in a magazine spread. And now, she was aiming for my Minato. My heart dropped straight into my stomach. At lunch, Saya noticed my gloomy aura immediately. What's with the face? You look like your goldfish just died. I stabbed my rice with chopsticks. Did you hear about Ayaka? Yeah, what about her? She's going to confess to Minato. My voice cracked. Saya blinked, then shrugged. Well duh. She's liked him forever. Everyone knows that. I froze. Everyone knows? Pretty much. I slammed my forehead against the desk. Why am I only finding out now? Because you were too busy making googly eyes at him to notice. Saya deadpanned. I groaned. This is bad. This is really bad. What if she confesses before I do? What if he says yes? Saya gave me a look. Do you seriously think he'd say yes to her? I hesitated. She's perfect. Why wouldn't he? Her expression softened slightly. Because he's not looking at her, Hana. He's looking at you. My chest tightened. I wanted to believe that. I knew from the diary it was true. But hearing it from Saya, it almost made me cry. After classes, the rumors solidified into reality. Minato, can I talk to you? Ayaka stood in the hallway, her long hair swaying as she smiled confidently at him. My blood turned to ice. Minato blinked, surprised, but nodded. The two of them walked toward the courtyard. I stood frozen in the classroom doorway, torn between running after them or burying myself 6 feet under. Saya nudged me hard. Go. Listen. Wah, no. That's. Do you want to lose him again? She hissed. That shut me up. So I followed. The courtyard was quiet, petals drifting lazily to the ground. I hid behind a tree, clutching the rabbit plush inside my bag like a talisman. Ayaka faced Minato, her hands clasped in front of her. Her voice was clear, unwavering. I like you, Minato. I've liked you for a long time. Will you go out with me? My heart stopped. This was it. The scene I'd feared in my first life. The one I hadn't had the courage to fight against. Minato lowered his gaze. Silent. Every second stretched into eternity. I bit my lips so hard it hurt, tears stinging my eyes. Please, please don't say yes. Not when I've finally gotten this chance. Finally, Minato spoke. His voice was quiet but firm. I'm sorry. I can't. Ayaka's eyes widened. Why not? Is there someone else? He hesitated, then looked away. There is. My breath caught. Ayaka's smile faltered, but she nodded gracefully. I understand. Thank you for being honest. She turned and walked away, her posture still elegant despite the rejection. I pressed a hand over my racing heart. Relief flooded me so hard my knees buckled. He rejected her. Because of me. That night, I nearly tore the diary open with shaking hands. The latest entry made my chest explode. Day 108. Ayaka confessed today. I turned her down. I couldn't accept when my heart already belongs to Hana. I slapped the book shut, squealing into my pillow so loudly my mom knocked on my door to ask if I was dying. I wasn't dying. I was living. More than I ever had before. This was real. This was happening. But my joy soured slightly as I remembered Ayaka's expression. Calm, graceful, but just a little too composed. Something told me she wasn't going to give up that easily. The next few days proved me right. Ayaka didn't avoid Minato. On the contrary, she seemed to double her efforts. Offering him notes. Asking him questions in class. Sitting just a little too close at lunch. I meanwhile sat in the corner, seething silently. Are you glaring at her? Saya asked one day, watching me stab my lunch like it had personally wronged me. I'm not glaring, I hissed. I'm observing. Observing her every move like a jealous stalker? Shut up. She smirked. If you're this worked up, just confess already. My face burned. I can't just blurt it out. It has to be the right moment. And when's that, huh? After someone else swoops in and takes him. I froze. That had already happened once before. Not this time. I clenched my fists. You're right. I can't wait forever. Saya's grin softened into something more supportive. That's the spirit. That evening, I paced my room, the diary open on my desk. Minato's latest entry nearly made me faint. Day 110. Hana seemed upset today. I wonder if it's because of Ayaka. If she is, I want to tell her not to worry. That there's only one person I see. I pressed my hands to my burning cheeks. He knew. He noticed. And he cared enough to reassure me, even if he hadn't said it out loud yet. That was it. Tomorrow I would do it. Tomorrow, I'd confess. No more running. No more cowardice. This time, I'd finally say the words that had been trapped in my heart for 10 years. The next morning, I woke up with fire in my veins. No more hesitation. No more excuses. Today, I was going to confess to Minato. I rehearsed it in front of the mirror, over and over. I like you. No, too plain. I've always liked you, even before I died. Wait, and oh. I slapped my face. Focus. Hana. Keep it simple. Honest. Heartfelt. Finally, I settled on something safe. Minato. I like you. Please go out with me. Short, direct, impossible to misunderstand. Perfect. Except my stomach wouldn't stop twisting itself into knots, and my legs trembled like I'd just run a marathon. Saya, ever the supportive friend, laughed so hard she nearly fell off her chair when I told her my plan. You? Confess? This I've got to see. I glared. I'm serious. She smirked. I know. That's why I'm excited. Go get him, Hana. At school, my heart pounded so loud I was sure people could hear it. Minato sat at his desk, quietly flipping through a book. He looked calm as always, completely unaware that I was about to drop a nuclear bomb on both our lives. I inhaled sharply. This is it. Just walk up to him. Say it. Simple. I stood, marched toward his desk, and promptly tripped over a chair leg. I crashed to the floor with a shriek. The entire class burst into laughter. Minato knelt beside me, concerned. Are you okay? I wanted to sink into the linoleum and never resurface. Why, yeah. Totally fine. Just practicing my floor diving skills. Saya face-bombed from across the room. Great start. Hana. Truly flawless. All morning, I chickened out. Every time I tried to speak, my courage evaporated. During break, I told myself, after lunch. After lunch, I promised. After school. By the time the final bell rang, I was a mess of nerves. But I couldn't back out now. Not again. So when Minato stood to leave, I grabbed my bag and followed him out of the building. We walked together down the quiet street, cherry blossoms swirling in the air. The golden light of evening painted everything soft and beautiful. It was perfect. The kind of setting people wrote love songs about. My heart thudded painfully. Nah. Say it now. I clenched my fists. Minato? He glanced at me. Yeah. My throat tightened. My heart screamed. Say it. Minato. The voice sliced through the moment like a knife. Both of us turned to see Yuto jogging toward us, waving. There you are. We're waiting for you. You promised to help practice for the soccer match, remember? Minato blinked. Right. He turned to me, almost apologetic. Sorry. Hana. I'll see you tomorrow. And just like that, he was gone, walking away with Yuto. The words I'd fought all day to speak withered on my tongue. I stood frozen, fists clenched, tears prickling in my eyes. That night, I slammed the diary open, frustration pouring out of me. The latest entry was painfully familiar. Day 111. Hana looked like she wanted to tell me something again. I wonder if it's the same thing I've been wanting to say. If only I had the courage to ask. I buried my face in the pillow, muffling a scream. He was waiting for me. Just like before. But fate. No, my cowardice, kept getting in the way. The next day, Saya cornered me immediately. Well, did you confess? No. She groaned. Seriously. What happened this time? I tried. But then Yuto showed up and dragged him away. Saya threw her hands in the air. So what? Are you gonna wait for the universe to roll out a red carpet and cue romantic background music? You gotta grab your chance, Hana. I know. I was ready. I swear I was. She crossed her arms, unimpressed. If you don't confess soon, Ayaka's gonna make another move. You think she'll give up just because he turned her down once? The thought made my stomach churn. Saya was right. Ayaka wasn't the type to quit. And Minato. He deserved to hear it from me first. That evening, I sat at my desk, staring at the diary. I flipped back through the entries, tracing the words with trembling fingers. Every line screamed the same truth. He liked me. He always had. What was I waiting for? If I let fear stop me again, I'd be no better than the coward who died at 25, still choking on unsaid words. I clenched my fists, determination burning in my chest. Tomorrow, I whispered. No matter what, I'll say it. Even if I trip, even if the whole school hears, even if my voice shakes, I'll say it. Because this time, nothing and no one was going to stop me. The moment the announcement hit the bulletin board, the entire school buzzed with excitement. Spring Festival, Saturday, 6 p.m. Students squealed about yukatas, food stalls, fireworks, and photo spots. Couples whispered about meeting under the cherry blossom arch. And me? I nearly had a heart attack. Because Minato casually asked, in that soft, understated way of his, "Are you going?" I froze mid-step, my pencil slipping from my fingers. The festival? He nodded. Yeah. If you are, we could go together. My brain exploded. Saya, who was conveniently eavesdropping, nearly choked on her juice. What? Shoo! I smacked her arm, my face flaming. Minato tilted his head, confused. So, will you? I stammered so hard it could have been mistaken for Morse code. Why yeah. I mean yes. Of course. His lips curved slightly. Okay. Then it's a date. Date. I barely held myself together until he walked away, then collapsed onto my desk in a puddle. The next 2 days were chaos. Saya dragged me shopping for a yukata, ignoring my protests. If you're confessing at the festival, you need to look drop-dead gorgeous. Wait, who said I was confessing? She glared. You're confessing. She wasn't wrong. We spent hours trying different colors until I settled on a light lavender yukata patterned with tiny white flowers. When I stepped out of the fitting room, Saya clapped like a proud stage mom. That's it. With this, Minato won't know what hit him. I twirled nervously in the mirror. Will he really like it? Saturday arrived. As the sun dipped low, I stood in front of the mirror, heart hammering. The yukata hugged my frame snugly, the obi tied neatly at my waist. My hair was pinned up with a small flower clip. For once I actually looked pretty. I grabbed the rabbit plush from my bed, squeezing it for luck. Okay, Hana. Tonight's the night. No running. No chickening out. You're going to tell him. My reflection looked terrified, but determined. The festival grounds glowed with lanterns, the air filled with sizzling food and laughter. Colorful stalls lined the paths, each more tempting than the last. I spotted Minato near the entrance. He wasn't in yukata, but his simple button-up and jacket suited him perfectly. When his eyes landed on me, he froze. You look nice, he said after a moment, his ears turning red. I wanted to scream into the void. Tej, thank you. You too. For a moment, we just stood there, awkward and blushing. Then he gestured toward the stalls. Shall we? We wandered through the festival, the air warm with delicious smells. At the takoyaki stand, Minato handed me a skewer, his gaze flickering away when our fingers brushed. At the goldfish scoop game, I nearly fell into the tank, soaking my sleeve. Minato stifled a laugh, handing me a towel. At the shooting gallery, I failed miserably, but Minato hit the target cleanly, winning me a tiny stuffed fox. Every little thing, every smile, every touch, it all felt like magic. And yet, underneath it all, my heart pounded with the weight of unsaid words. Confess. Tonight. Don't waste this chance. As the evening deepened, we reached the main event. Fireworks. Crowds gathered near the riverbank, couples spreading out picnic blankets, kids running around with sparklers. Minato and I found a quiet spot beneath a cherry blossom tree, the petals drifting gently around us. The first firework burst overhead, painting the sky in shimmering gold. I clutched the fox plush to my chest, my heart ready to leap out. Nah. Say it now. I turned to him. Minato, I. But the next firework boomed so loudly my words vanished into the night. He glanced at me. What? My face burned. I tried again, louder. I. Another firework burst, drowning me out again. I groaned in frustration. Why does the universe hate me? Minato blinked. Ha! I buried my face in my hands. Smooth. Hana. Real smooth. But then, he shifted closer, his voice barely audible over the crackle of the fireworks. What were you trying to say? I froze. His eyes were on me, soft but searching, as if he already knew. My throat tightened. My courage wavered. But this was it. This was the moment. I like Hana. Saya's voice cut through the night like a dagger. I nearly screamed. What? She popped up out of nowhere, waving excitedly. There you are. I've been looking everywhere. We're doing group sparklers, come on. I wanted to throw myself into the river. Minato looked away quickly, as if hiding something. You should go. I clenched my fists, biting my lip. The words were right there. But I couldn't force them out. Not with half the school gathering around. So I smiled weakly instead. Yeah, let's go. That night, lying in bed, I opened the diary with shaking hands. The newest entry made my heart ache. Day 112. Hana tried to say something during the fireworks. I wonder, was it the same thing I wanted to tell her? Someday, I'll find out. Someday soon. I pressed the book to my chest, tears pricking my eyes. Someday, I whispered into the quiet. I hadn't confessed. Not yet. But I was closer. So much closer. And this time, I swore. I wouldn't let fate keep stealing my words. The Monday after the festival, the classroom was buzzing with stories. I saw the fireworks with my boyfriend. I ate 5 sticks of yakitori. I won a giant stuffed Pikachu at the lottery. Everyone was bragging about their night. Saya, of course, loudly announced to half the class. Our Hana went with Minato. Didn't they look like a couple? I nearly spat my juice all over my desk. Saya! The room erupted in gasps and whispers. I sank into my chair, face burning. Minato, calm as ever, didn't deny it. He just quietly adjusted his books. Which, of course, only made the whispers louder. Are they dating? They'd look cute together. No way. Minato's too good for her. My ears burned hotter. At lunch, things got worse. I went to grab bread from the cafeteria when I spotted Ayaka leaning against Minato's desk. She twirled her hair, smiling sweetly. So, Minato, I heard you went to the festival. With Hana. He nodded slightly. Yeah. Her smile faltered for a second, but she recovered fast. Well, next time you should come with me. I know the best stalls. My chest tightened. Excuse me? Next time. I marched back to my seat, plopping my bread down with unnecessary force. Saya raised an eyebrow. Oh. Jealousy alert. I am not jealous, I hissed, biting angrily into my melon bread. But my glare kept drifting back to Ayaka. She laughed at something Minato said, her hand brushing his sleeve. Something ugly twisted in my stomach. Fine. Maybe I was jealous. Over the next few days, it only got worse. Kana asked Minato to help her carry books. 2 second years stopped him in the hall to compliment his soccer practice. Even the shy library girl asked if he could recommend novels. Every time, my blood pressure skyrocketed. Saya found it hilarious. You look like a dragon guarding treasure. I am not, I snapped then groaned. Okay, maybe a little. Face it, Hana, she said, munching her chips. You've got competition. Better confess soon, or someone else might snatch him up. The thought made my heart ache. But confessing was still terrifying. One afternoon, while I was still battling my inner coward, Minato surprised me by walking home together again. The streets were quieter than usual, the late sun painting everything gold. He glanced at me, his hands in his pockets. You've been quiet lately. I nearly tripped. Me? No. Totally normal. Really? I swallowed. My jealousy burned in my throat. I wanted to blurt, don't talk to Ayaka. Don't smile at other girls. Only look at me. But instead I bit my tongue. Just tired, I muttered. He studied me for a moment, then nodded. Okay. The silence stretched between us, heavy with unsaid words. That night, I turned to the diary again, hoping for reassurance. His neat handwriting stared back at me. Day 114. Lately, Hana looks upset. I wonder if it's because of me. She's been quieter. I hope I didn't do something wrong. I wish I knew what she was thinking. Tears welled in my eyes. He noticed. Of course he noticed. I gripped the diary tightly. He thinks it's his fault. When really, it's me. My jealousy. My fear. If I didn't speak soon, I'd ruin everything. The next day, Saya cornered me during break. All right, Operation Confession is back on. What? You're going to tell him? Today. No excuses. But. No buts. She poked my forehead. Do you really want Ayaka sneaking in again? You think she's gonna wait politely while you twiddle your thumbs? Hana, if you don't fight for him, someone else will. Her words echoed in my head all day. Fight for him. After school, I spotted Minato heading toward the gate. My legs moved before my brain could argue. Minato. He paused, turning. Hana. I clenched my fists, my heart pounding. See, can we talk? His expression shifted, curious but gentle. Sure. We walked together, away from the crowds, until we reached the quiet park near the river. The setting sun bathed the water in warm orange. The perfect place for a confession. My throat tightened. My courage screamed. Say it. Hana. Don't let jealousy eat you alive. I opened my mouth. And then Ayaka's voice rang out. There you are, Minato. She jogged toward us, smiling brightly. I was looking for you. Do you have time to help me with math? I froze. Minato glanced at me, then back at her. I was just. It won't take long, she said quickly, her tone just a little too sweet. I felt something snap inside me. Before I could stop myself, I grabbed Minato's sleeve. He's busy, I blurted, glaring at her. With me. The words hung in the air like a challenge. Ayaka blinked, startled. Oh. Minato's eyes widened slightly, his cheeks tinged pink. I realized what I'd just said and nearly fainted. Why yeah, I stammered, releasing his sleeve. We were in the middle of something. Sorry, Ayaka. She hesitated, then forced a smile. I see. Maybe another time then. She walked away, her steps sharp against the pavement. Silence. My face burned so hot I thought I might combust. Sorry. I didn't mean to. But Minato's quiet chuckle stopped me. It's okay. He looked at me, eyes soft. I'm glad you said that. My heart exploded. That night, the diary confirmed everything. Day 115. Hana was jealous today. She probably doesn't realize how happy that made me. Maybe, she feels the same way I do. I hugged the diary to my chest, tears streaming down my face. Yes, I whispered into the night. I do. The fire of jealousy had hurt, but it had also lit something new inside me. A determination that no rival, no interruption, could snuff out. This time I swore. I'd confess before it was too late. The week after the festival, spring rain arrived in full force. Gray skies, dripping eaves, puddles big enough to swallow shoes. It was as if the world itself had decided to sulk. By the time the final bell rang one afternoon, thunder rumbled in the distance. I sighed at the sheets of rain pouring outside. Of course, I'd forgotten my umbrella. Again. Saya waved from the doorway, already cozy under her polka-dot umbrella. Want me to walk you halfway? I shook my head. Go ahead, Saya. You'll be late for cram school if you wait. I'll figure something out. She gave me a pointed look. Translation. You're hoping Minato shows up, huh? I sputtered. What? No. But she just winked and darted into the downpour. I lingered by the shoe lockers, staring hopelessly at the rain. Guess I'll have to run for it. Just as I steeled myself, a quiet voice spoke behind me. Did you forget your umbrella again? I turned, and there he was. Minato, holding a dark blue umbrella, water beading on his jacket from the short dash inside. Minato. Yeah. I rubbed the back of my neck, embarrassed. He tilted his head, then extended his umbrella. Want to share? My heart lurched. Oh, I couldn't. But he'd already stepped closer, opening the umbrella wide enough to cover us both. Let's go, he said simply. The walk home was quiet, except for the patter of rain on fabric and the splash of puddles beneath our shoes. Under the small umbrella, our shoulders brushed, our arms nearly touching. Every time we moved too close, my heart skipped. I clutched the strap of my bag, praying he couldn't hear the wild thumping in my chest. "You'll catch a cold if you keep forgetting your umbrella," he said after a while. I laughed nervously. "I know. I'm hopeless." "You're not hopeless." His voice was soft, almost lost to the rain. I froze, cheeks burning. "Why, you think so?" He glanced at me, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "I wouldn't be walking you home if I didn't." My brain short-circuited. Halfway down the street, thunder cracked loudly overhead. I jumped, instinctively clutching his sleeve. He paused, surprised, then looked down at my hand. "Scared?" "And no," I squeaked, quickly letting go. "I just, reflex." His lips curved slightly. "If you say so." But instead of teasing further, he shifted the umbrella closer to me, his shoulder getting damp from the rain. "Minato, you're getting wet." "It's fine," he said. "Better me than you." I bit my lip, warmth blooming in my chest despite the chill of the rain. By the time we reached the corner near my house, the storm had softened into a drizzle. We stopped beneath the streetlight, petals from the rain-battered cherry trees sticking to the pavement. I fidgeted, wishing the walk could last longer. "Thank you for walking me home." He nodded, his expression unreadable. "Anytime." The silence stretched, heavy with something unsaid. I could feel it between us, like a string pulled taut. "Minato, My throat tightened. "Say it. Say you like him." Just once. But the words stuck. Fear coiled in my stomach, dragging me back. Instead, what came out was, "Can I ask you something?" He tilted his head. "What is it?" I clenched my fists. "If I told you a secret, one that might change everything, would you promise not to hate me?" He blinked, surprised. "I'd never hate you." The way he said it, quiet, certain without hesitation, nearly unraveled me. My vision blurred with unshed tears. "Promise." He nodded. "Promise." For a moment, I wanted so badly to spill everything. The diary, my second chance, my feelings that had spanned 2 lives. But the weight of the truth pressed down too heavily. So I swallowed it back, forcing a shaky smile. "Thanks." He studied me for a long moment, as if he could see all the words I hadn't said. Then he simply nodded, shifting the umbrella into my hands. "Keep it," he said. "I'll get it back tomorrow." And with that, he turned and walked away, disappearing into the soft rain. That night, I opened the diary, my heart aching with everything I hadn't confessed. The ink shimmered across the page. Day 117. Walked Hana home in the rain today. She looked like she wanted to tell me something important. I wonder what it was. Whatever it is. I promised I wouldn't hate her. And I meant it. I pressed my forehead to the page, tears slipping free. "Thank you, Minato," I whispered. Someday I would tell him. All of it. And maybe, just maybe, he'd still smile at me the same way. The next morning, sunlight streamed through my curtains, but my mood was anything but bright. Saya had already dragged me to school, gabbing about some upcoming cultural festival practice, but my mind was elsewhere. Ever since the rainy day walk, I'd been replaying Minato's words in my head. "I promised I wouldn't hate you." A promise. Gentle. Certain. But beneath that certainty, a tiny whisper of fear gnawed at me. During first period, I opened the diary on my desk, almost subconsciously, and froze. The page was different from usual. It wasn't a regular entry. The words were hurried, jagged, and unfamiliar, almost like Minato had been trying to warn me. Day 118. Hana. Something might happen soon. I can't let her get hurt. I don't know how, but I'll protect her. She has to be careful. I wish she knew. My chest tightened. What does that mean? I reread it, heart hammering. It wasn't a hint about our romance. It was a warning. Something bad was coming. Something I couldn't see. By lunch, panic gnawed at my stomach. Saya noticed immediately. "Why do you look like you saw a ghost?" I shoved the diary into my bag. "I read something. A warning. From Minato." She frowned. "From the diary?" I nodded. "It's weird. He wrote it like he knows something bad will happen to me. I don't know what to do." Saya's face softened. "Hana. Maybe it's nothing. Just a feeling he had. I shook my head. No. It's serious. I've already had a life where I failed to protect myself. I can't ignore it this time. Her eyes widened. Wait. Are you talking about your past life? The one where you... Shoo. Not here. I hissed, clutching the rabbit plush in my bag. The rest of the day passed in a blur. Every shadow, every passing glance, made my heart race. Minato noticed too. During homeroom, he kept looking at me with that soft, questioning gaze. Hana. I blinked, startled. He tilted his head. You've been quiet lately. Is something wrong? My throat tightened. Do I tell him? Do I trust him with this warning? Instead, I forced a smile. I'm fine. Just tired. He frowned slightly but nodded. Okay. If you say so. The tension between us lingered like a low cloud, heavy and unresolved. After school, I walked home alone, the diary clutched to my chest. I flipped to the page again, reading Minato's words like a lifeline. She has to be careful. I wish she knew. I shivered. Something inside me told me this wasn't just a warning. It was a premonition. And if I didn't figure it out, I could lose everything I'd worked for. Minato, my second chance, the life I'd fought so hard to reclaim. That night, Saya barged in with her usual energy. You've been acting weird for 2 days straight. Spill it. I hesitated, then held up the diary. He wrote this. Something bad might happen. I think I need to be prepared. She examined it, frowning. Hana, are you saying someone's gonna hurt you? I shook my head. I don't know. But I can't take chances this time. I won't. Saya's eyes softened, a rare serious expression on her face. Then I'll help you. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out. I hugged her tightly. Thanks. I don't know what I'd do without you. The next few days became a tense dance. I tried to stay close to Minato, noticing every detail of his behavior, every shift in his mood. He didn't know the diary's warning weighed on me, but he seemed aware somehow, as if he could feel my unease. One afternoon, as we walked together to the library, he glanced at me. Hana, are you worried about something? My stomach tightened. I can't tell him everything yet. Not until I know what's coming. I'm fine, I said, forcing a calm smile. He studied me for a moment, then nodded. All right. But I'm here if you need me. His words hit me harder than the diary ever could. Protecting me. He wanted to. That evening, I sat on my bed, staring at the rain streaking the window. The diary lay open on my lap, a silent guide through the unknown. Hana. Something might happen soon. I pressed my hands over my eyes. I had a second chance. I had him. And I would protect it. No matter what. No one would take him away. No one would hurt me this time. With the diary as my map, and Minato's presence as my anchor, I swore silently into the night. Whatever comes next, I'll be ready. The week dragged on, each day heavier than the last. The diary's warning still haunted me, but today, all I could think about was finally telling him. Saya had been pacing my room for the past 30 minutes, hyping me up like a coach for a championship game. Okay, Hana. Today is the day. You will confess. You will say the words. And you will survive. I buried my face in my pillow. Saya. You're not helping. She smacked the pillow. Yes, I am. Look, if you chicken out today, I swear I'll... I shoved her away. No threats. Finally, I took a shaky breath, clutching the diary in one hand and my rabbit plush in the other. I have one shot. One. Don't mess this up. After school, I found Minato already on the rooftop, leaning against the railing and staring at the city bathed in gold from the setting sun. My stomach twisted into knots. This is it. Minato. My voice wavered, but he turned immediately. Hana. His calm gaze swept over me, gentle and patient. I swallowed hard. I have something to tell you. He tilted his head, curious. Oh. The words had practiced in my mind 1,000 times. I like you. I've always liked you. Will you go out with me? But as I opened my mouth, the wind picked up, sending my hair across my face. I flailed, trying to push it back. Minato chuckled softly. You look like you're about to fight a storm. I glared at him, cheeks burning. It's called dramatic effect. I took a deep breath, forcing the words out. Minato, I. A sudden shout echoed from below the rooftop stairs. Minato. I froze. My heart stopped. Ayaka's voice. He turned, frowning slightly. Ayaka? What is it? My words vanished. My confession evaporated into the sky. Can you help me with the math club assignment? It's urgent, she called. I'm busy, he said softly. I blinked. His softly. He was defending me, even subtly. Ayaka frowned but left with a forced smile. Fine. Later then. Once the echo of her footsteps faded, Minato turned back to me. Where were we? His lips curved slightly. I opened my mouth again, but then, my stomach betrayed me. A stray gust of wind sent the diary flying from my hands, pages fluttering wildly across the rooftop. No. My diary. I scrambled, diving after it, almost tripping over the railing. Minato grabbed my arm, steadying me. Careful. I swallowed hard, cheeks flaming. Thanks. He handed me the diary. Our fingers brushed. Sparks. Literal sparks, or maybe just my imagination. Finally, I clutched the diary to my chest, forcing myself to meet his eyes. Minato. I like you. I've liked you for a long time. Even before I had a chance to say it the first time. The words tumbled out in a rush, my heart hammering like a drum. For a moment, he just stared at me, eyes wide, lips slightly parted. And then, he smiled. The soft, warm smile I'd memorized from the diary. Hana, he said, stepping closer. I like you too. I've liked you all along. My knees nearly gave out. Ah, really? He nodded. Really? Always. I could barely breathe. The tension, the fear, the waiting. Everything melted into the warmth of that moment. But, of course, nothing in my life went smoothly. A sudden gust of wind knocked my rabbit plush from my bag. It tumbled across the rooftop, landing at Minato's feet. Your rabbit? He asked, holding it up. I groaned. It's a long story. He chuckled, placing it back in my hands. I'll protect it for you too if you want. I blinked. You'd do that? Of course, he said simply, eyes meeting mine. I'll protect anything you care about. My heart exploded. Literally. I was trapped in a cloud of happiness, adrenaline, and rain-scented wind. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the city in orange and pink, I realized something. This time, I hadn't lost him. This time, fate had finally been on my side. Holding the diary, the rabbit plush, and Minato's hand, I felt whole. And for the first time, I whispered the words I'd been holding back for 10 years, silently in my heart. I'll never let you go. He squeezed my hand gently. I know. The week after the rooftop confession felt surreal. Minato and I walked to school together, sat next to each other in class, and even shared lunch without awkwardness. Our hands brushed, smiles lingered longer, and every glance carried unspoken promises. Saya naturally was ecstatic. You're officially a couple, she squealed during lunch one day, nearly knocking over my drink. This is amazing. Finally. I knew you could do it. I groaned, hiding my face behind a textbook. Saya, stop yelling. She just grinned. Nope. The world needs to know. And so do you. Enjoy this while it lasts, because romance never comes without complications. I frowned. Complications? What do you mean? She just winked. You'll see. That weekend, the school announced another festival. A smaller one, themed with lanterns, games, and a costume contest. When Minato suggested we go together, I nearly fainted from excitement. Of course. I mean, yes, let's go. I squeaked, my hands clasped in front of me. He tilted his head, smiling softly. You're excited. I nodded so vigorously my hair clip nearly fell out. A little. At the festival, lanterns glowed warm in the evening air. Stalls sold takoyaki, cotton candy, and little charms. Students ran around in yukatas and costumes, laughing and enjoying the spring night. Minato and I wandered hand in hand, playful and easy, until a voice called out from behind. Hana! Minato! Ayaka appeared, dressed in a gorgeous light blue yukata, holding a box of festival prizes. I froze. She's here, I whispered, clutching my rabbit plush like a lifeline. Minato squeezed my hand gently. Don't worry. I'm with you. My heart melted at his words, but jealousy and nerves churned inside me. Ayaka approached with a bright smile. I didn't mean to intrude. I just thought you might want to join our group for the festival games. I forced a smile. Thanks, but we're good. She tilted her head, eyeing me carefully. Oh, just the two of you? Minato nodded slightly. Yes. Ayaka's expression shifted, not hostile, but a little calculating. I see. Well, enjoy the festival. She walked away, leaving a faint tension in her wake. I exhaled. That was close. Minato smiled softly. She's not a threat. I wanted to believe him, but the knot in my stomach didn't loosen. We tried to enjoy the festival. We played ring toss, winning a small stuffed fox for me. We shared cotton candy, laughing when it stuck to our fingers. We even went on the haunted house ride, screaming and holding on to each other, hearts pounding. It felt perfect. Until we reached the lantern booth. Make a wish, the attendant said, handing us paper lanterns and markers. Minato smiled. Do you want to go first? I nodded, scribbling quickly. I hope we can stay together, no matter what comes. I handed him my lantern, then he wrote carefully. His brow furrowed in concentration. When he handed it back, I peeked at his words. I'll protect you, Hana. Always. I could barely breathe. My chest felt too full, too warm, and my eyes blurred with unshed tears. As we released our lanterns, watching them float into the night sky, the beauty of the moment nearly made me forget everything else. But then, a shadow passed near the edge of the festival. Saya, ever perceptive, nudged me. Hana! Isn't that? I squinted. Through the lantern glow, I saw Ayaka watching us from a distance. And she wasn't smiling this time. My stomach twisted. She's plotting something. Minato noticed my sudden shift. Hana. I forced a calm expression. Nothing. Just enjoying the moment. He nodded, but I could tell he sensed my unease. He squeezed my hand again. Whatever happens, I'm with you. I closed my eyes, letting the warmth of his words anchor me. Later that night, I flipped open the diary, heart racing. Day 120. Hana looked worried at the festival tonight. I hope she knows. I'll always stand by her. No matter what. Tears slipped down my cheeks. The diary, the second chance, and Minato's unwavering support. All of it felt overwhelming. I hugged the rabbit plush tightly. I won't let anyone come between us. Not this time. And for the first time I truly believed it. The day after the festival, the classroom buzzed with chatter. Did you see the lanterns last night? The fireworks were amazing. Did anyone notice Hana and Minato together? I froze mid-bite of my sandwich. Everyone had noticed. Great. Saya leaned over whispering. Relax. Everyone's just gossiping. You're officially a couple now. I groaned. I don't want gossip. She smirked. Tough. Welcome to being popular. During lunch, I tried to enjoy my bento quietly, but Minato kept glancing at me with that soft, unreadable expression. Hana, he murmured, leaning closer. Are you okay? You've been tense all day. I swallowed hard. I'm fine. Really? He didn't press, just nodded, and for a moment, the tension eased. After school, Minato suggested we walk together, as usual. The streets were quiet, cherry blossom petals clinging to the sidewalks like confetti left from the festival. I tried to calm my nerves. Today, I just want a normal walk. No interruptions. No surprises. Famous last words. Halfway down our usual path, someone stepped out from behind a tree. Hana. I froze. My heart plummeted. It was Yuto, Minato's close friend. But his expression was serious, almost nervous. Hi, Yuto, I said cautiously. He glanced at Minato, then back at me. Can I talk to you for a second? Alone. Minato raised an eyebrow but didn't intervene. Go ahead. I followed Yuto a few steps away, my stomach twisting. Hana, he began, voice low. I like you. I stopped, jaw dropping. What? Yuto's face flushed bright red. I know you like Minato, and I'm sorry. I had to tell you. I can't hide it anymore. My brain short-circuited. I opened my mouth to respond, but all I could think was, what do I do? I stumbled backward slightly. Yuto. I'm with Minato. I like him. His shoulders slumped, but he nodded. I know. I had to be honest. I hope we can still be friends. I swallowed hard. Of course. Friends. He offered a weak smile before jogging away, leaving me trembling in the middle of the path. Minato approached quietly, his expression unreadable. Hana. I turned to face him, holding the rabbit plush tightly. Nothing. Just, someone confessed. It's fine. I handled it. He studied me for a long moment, then stepped closer. You're shaking. I tried to laugh. I'm fine. Really. But he didn't let it go. He reached out, brushing my hair behind my ear, eyes soft and serious. Hana, you don't have to go through anything alone. I'll protect you, okay? My chest tightened. I know. That's why I stopped myself, words trapped in my throat. I can't mess this up now. Not with him. Minato smiled faintly, as if reading my thoughts. You're safe with me. Always. The walk home was quiet, but this time, it was comforting, not tense. Later at home, I opened the diary. My hands shook as I read the newest entry. Day 123. Hana seemed worried today. I think someone confessed to her. I hope she knows. I'll protect her no matter what. She doesn't have to face anything alone. Tears welled in my eyes. Even without me telling him everything, he understood. I hugged the diary tightly. I won't let anyone take him away. Not this time. That night, Saya barged into my room with her usual energy. So, someone confessed? She asked, grinning. Yes, I muttered, face burning. But it's fine. It's nothing. She raised an eyebrow. Nothing? Really? That's your reaction? Hana, you need to learn how to wield your powers, your relationship properly. Don't let anyone scare you. I groaned. Saya, can you not say it like that? She laughed. Fine. But remember, protecting Minato isn't just about keeping him safe from danger. You also have to handle rivals. I hugged the rabbit plush tightly. I'll handle it. Because this time, I wasn't just a shy girl from the past. This time I was determined. And no confession, no rival, no unexpected twist, would take away what was mine. The morning air was crisp, the sky painted in soft shades of blue and gold. Normally, it would have been beautiful. But today, a heaviness hung over me, something I couldn't shake. Saya noticed it immediately. Hana, you look like you didn't sleep at all, she said, poking my shoulder with exaggerated concern. I sighed, gripping the rabbit plush in my bag. I didn't. The diary. It's worrying me. She rolled her eyes, though a trace of unease lingered in her expression. Let me guess. Another warning? I nodded. Something's coming. Something bad. I don't know what, but I have a feeling it's serious. Saya's eyes softened. Well, if anyone can handle it, it's you. I gave her a small, tense smile. I hope so. First period dragged endlessly. Every shadow, every passing glance seemed threatening. My notebook trembled in my hands as I tried to focus on math. The diary had been open on my desk, its pages fluttering as if alive. I couldn't stop thinking about its words. Day 118. Hana. Something might happen soon. I can't let her get hurt. She has to be careful. I wish she knew. Every word pressed into my chest like a warning bell. During lunch, Minato approached me quietly, carrying his tray. Hana, he murmured, sitting across from me. You seem tense again. Did something happen? I forced a smile. No, nothing. Just tired. He didn't argue but studied me, eyes soft and searching. All right. But you know you can tell me anything, right? I hesitated. Should I reveal the diary? My memories? The premonitions? Thanks, Minato, I said softly. I just need to be careful. That's all. He nodded slowly, but his gaze lingered, worry flickering in his eyes. The afternoon passed in a blur. I kept replaying possible scenarios in my head. Someone trying to sabotage me, Minato, or even both. After school, I walked home alone, clutching the diary. Something felt off. The streets were too quiet, and every shadow seemed longer than it should be. Then, a figure stepped out from behind a tree. Careful, Hana. My breath caught. It was a stranger, tall, dark-haired, with an expression that made my blood run cold. Who are you? I whispered, clutching the diary like a shield. The figure smiled faintly, but it didn't reach his eyes. Just someone who's been watching. You shouldn't be so reckless. I took a step back. Watching me? Why? He didn't answer. Instead, he turned and disappeared into the shadows before I could react. When I finally got home, my hands were shaking. I locked the door and clutched the diary. Day 118. Hana. Something might happen soon. I can't let her get hurt. My stomach twisted. This wasn't a vague warning anymore. Someone had been following me. Saya burst into my room an hour later, cheerful as always. Hana. You're home early. What's wrong? You look like a ghost. I forced a smile, trembling slightly. I think someone's following me. Her eyes widened. What? Are you serious? I nodded. Yes. I don't know why, but it feels connected to the diary. Saya's playful energy vanished. Then we need a plan. No more walking home alone. No more being careless. I hugged the rabbit plush tightly. I'll be careful. I promise. That night, I opened the diary again, searching for guidance. Day 124. Hana. Be vigilant. Danger is closer than she thinks. But she doesn't have to face it alone. I will protect her. My heart raced. Minato's words in the diary, even if written unknowingly, felt like armor. I whispered to the quiet room. I won't let anything happen. I'll protect myself. And I'll protect him too. The second chance I'd been given wasn't just for love anymore. It was for survival, for taking control of my life. The next morning, I spotted Minato waiting for me at the gate. His backpack slung casually over one shoulder. Hana? He said, noticing my tense expression. You look worried. I hesitated, then shook my head. Nothing. Just tired. He studied me for a moment, then offered a reassuring smile. Whatever it is, we'll handle it together. You're not alone. My chest warmed at his words. Thanks, Minato. I feel braver already. And with that, I knew. No matter what threat loomed, no matter how dark the shadow, I wasn't facing it alone. The week after the mysterious stranger's appearance felt like walking on a knife's edge. Every creak in the hallway, every shadow under a tree, made my stomach twist. I kept the diary close at all times, clinging to Minato's words as a shield. Saya had stationed herself at school entrances, but I couldn't shake the feeling that danger was lingering, just out of sight. During lunch, I tried to focus on my bento, but the words of the diary echoed in my mind. Day 124. Hana. Be vigilant. Danger is closer than she thinks. But she doesn't have to face it alone. I will protect her. Even reading them made my pulse race. Hana. Minato's voice cut through my thoughts. He was sitting across from me, a gentle frown on his face. I'm fine, I said quickly, forcing a smile. He didn't look convinced. Are you sure? You've been tense all week. I hesitated, debating whether to tell him everything. Finally, I shook my head. Just worried. That's all. He reached across the table, his hand brushing mine. Whatever it is, we'll face it together. I promise. My chest tightened. Thanks. I really mean that. After school, Minato offered to walk me home, as usual. The streets were unusually quiet, cherry blossom petals drifting in the wind. I clutched my rabbit plush, every nerve on edge. Halfway down the street, a shadow fell across our path. Hana, Minato said, his tone sharp now. Stay behind me. My heart leapt. The stranger from last week stepped out. Dark-haired, tall, and moving with a calm menace that made my stomach drop. "Who are you?" I whispered, clutching the diary like a shield. The figure smirked. "Someone who warned you, but you didn't listen." Before I could react, he lunged. Minato stepped forward in an instant, his movements precise. He grabbed my arm, pulling me behind him, his eyes blazing. "Stay back," he warned. The stranger hesitated, sizing us up. Then, with a swift motion, he vanished down a side street before we could even respond. I sank to the pavement, trembling. What just happened?" Minato crouched beside me, placing a comforting hand on my shoulder. "It's okay. You're safe now." I clutched his arm, tears threatening to fall. "I thought I could handle it alone." He shook his head. "You don't have to. Not ever. I'm here. Hana. I'll protect you no matter what." I pressed my forehead against his chest, my heart pounding. "Thank you, Minato." That night, I couldn't sleep. I opened the diary, hands shaking. Day 125. Hana was in danger today. I hope she knows. She doesn't have to face anything alone. I'll always be there. Tears slipped down my cheeks. Minato's presence, combined with the diary's warnings, filled me with a mix of fear and comfort. I hugged the rabbit plush tightly. "I'll be careful. And I won't run from danger. Not this time." The diary wasn't just a warning anymore. It was a guide, a map to survival, and a promise I could count on. The next morning, Minato met me at the gate, his expression serious. "Hana," he said softly, holding out his hand. "You're not alone. Remember that." I took it without hesitation. "I know. And I'm not scared anymore. Not with you." He squeezed my hand gently, and I felt a warmth that dispelled the cold grip of fear that had haunted me all week. For the first time since the warning, I felt ready. Ready to face whatever threat awaited, and ready to protect what mattered most. Minato, the diary, and this second chance at life. The morning sunlight streamed through my window, painting the room in soft gold. For the first time in days, I felt a strange calm. The danger had passed, at least for now, and Minato's presence had been my anchor through the storm. But the diary sat on my desk, its pages heavy with words I could no longer ignore. Day 125. Hana was in danger today. I hope she knows. She doesn't have to face anything alone. I'll always be there. I ran my fingers over the neat handwriting, the weight of its promise settling over me like a warm blanket. It was time. At lunch, I found Minato already waiting at our usual spot under the sakura tree near the gate. His expression was calm, but I could sense his quiet concern. "Hana," he said softly, eyes searching mine. "You've seemed different lately. Is something on your mind?" I took a deep breath, gripping the rabbit plush in my hands. "Minato, there's something I need to tell you. Something important." He tilted his head, attentive. "Anything. You can tell me." I hesitated, the words catching in my throat. Can I really tell him everything? Will he still care? Finally, I nodded. I lived a life before this one. I died at 25, and now I'm here. Back at 16. His eyes widened, but he didn't interrupt. He waited patiently, letting me continue. "And I had feelings for you, even in that life. I never confessed and I regretted it every day. Now, I have a second chance. But I needed you to know why I act the way I do. Why I sometimes overthink things or get nervous. It's because I remember everything." The silence that followed was heavy, but gentle. Minato blinked slowly, then reached out, taking my hand in his. "Hana." My heart hammered in my chest. "Yes." He squeezed my hand gently. "I believe you. All of it. And it doesn't change anything. I like you. I always have. Even now, knowing all this, I still want to be with you." Tears welled in my eyes. Relief, joy, and overwhelming gratitude poured out in a rush. "Really?" He nodded. "Really? You've trusted me with something so personal, so incredible. I'm honored. Hana. And I want to be by your side, in this life and whatever comes next." That afternoon, we walked home together, the cherry blossoms drifting around us like confetti. Saya, of course, was waiting at the gate, arms crossed and a smirk on her face. So, did you finally spill the big secret? I flushed, looking down at my hands. Yes. And he still likes me. Saya clapped her hands in delight. I knew it. You two are perfect for each other. I couldn't help laughing. Thanks, Saya. But seriously, it feels surreal. Finally, no more hiding. Minato glanced at me, his hand brushing against mine. You're not hiding anything anymore. And I'm not going anywhere. That night, I opened the diary once more, rereading the entries about danger and protection. Day 125. Hana was in danger today. I hope she knows. She doesn't have to face anything alone. I'll always be there. I smiled through tears. I know. And now he knows everything too. I'm not alone. And I won't be afraid. The second chance I'd been given wasn't just about romance anymore. It was about trust, courage, and the promise of living fully, without regrets. And with Minato by my side, I finally believed I could face whatever came next. The morning air was crisp, filled with the scent of spring blossoms, but my mood was far from light. Saya had already noticed my grim expression at the school gate. Hana, what's wrong? She asked, eyebrows furrowed. I hugged my bag tighter. It's Ayaka. I think she's planning something. She's been watching me more than usual. Saya's eyes widened. You mean she's trying to interfere with Minato? I nodded. And I can feel it. There's something in the air, a tension I can't ignore. Saya's usual teasing demeanor was gone. Then you need a plan. You can't just let her mess with you or Minato. I sighed. I know. I just don't know what she'll do next. First period passed slowly. Every glance I cast toward Ayaka made my stomach twist. She sat across the classroom, smiling faintly at Minato, a subtle yet unmistakable spark of mischief in her eyes. Saya nudged me under the desk. See what I mean? I whispered back. I see. And it's worse than I thought. During lunch, I tried to enjoy my bento, but Ayaka's presence across the courtyard made concentration impossible. Minato noticed my tension immediately. Hana? You're unusually quiet. Is something bothering you? I forced a calm smile. I'm fine. Really? He didn't argue. Instead, he reached out and brushed my hand with his fingers. I'm here, Hana. Whatever happens, I won't let anyone hurt you. My chest tightened at his words. I know. And thank you. The afternoon passed with a nervous energy. Every time Minato left the room, Ayaka would glance toward me, subtly smirking as if she had some secret plan. After school, Minato suggested we walk home together. My safe anchor in the storm. But the streets were quieter than usual, and the tension in the air was palpable. Suddenly, Ayaka appeared at the corner, blocking our path. Hana, Minato, she said sweetly, though her tone was laced with challenge. I didn't expect to see you two together here. I swallowed, gripping the rabbit plush tightly. What do you want, Ayaka? She tilted her head, eyes glinting. Oh, nothing much. Just to remind you, Minato is still available. You might want to think carefully about whether you're worthy of him. I froze. The words cut deeper than I expected. Minato stepped forward, placing a protective arm around my shoulders. Hana is more than worthy. And I'm not going anywhere. Ayaka smirked, unfazed. We'll see about that. Then, without another word, she turned and disappeared down the street, leaving a cold unease in her wake. I clutched Minato's arm, my heart racing. She's serious. She won't back down easily. He squeezed my hand gently. Then we'll face it together. No one is taking you away from me. I felt warmth bloom in my chest. Even with Ayaka's threats, Minato's presence made me feel invincible. That night, I opened the diary, searching for guidance. Day 126. Hana. There may be those who try to come between us. But she doesn't have to face it alone. I'll be there. Tears pricked my eyes. The diary, Minato, Saya. Together, they were my armor. I won't let her or anyone break what we have, I whispered fiercely. And for the first time since my rebirth, I felt truly ready to fight for the life I'd been given. The next morning, Minato met me at the gate with a determined expression. Hana, he said softly, eyes locking with mine. Whatever Ayaka tries, we face it together. You and me. I nodded, squeezing his hand. Together. The second chance I'd been given wasn't just about love anymore. It was about courage, trust, and the promise that nothing would separate us. The morning air was thick with tension. The cherry blossoms, once cheerful and delicate, now seemed to mirror the unease clinging to my chest. Saya met me at the gate, eyes wide with concern. Hana. I can feel it, she said. Something's about to happen. You and Minato need to be careful. I nodded, clutching the rabbit plush in my bag. I know. But I'm ready. This time I won't back down. Saya sighed, placing a hand on my shoulder. I know. Just don't underestimate Ayaka. Throughout the day, every glance at the hallway or courtyard made my pulse spike. Ayaka's presence was more calculated than ever. She lingered near Minato, smiling faintly, exchanging words that made my stomach twist. I tried to focus in class, but even my teacher's voice seemed distant. My thoughts kept returning to the diary. Day 126. Hana. There may be those who try to come between us. But she doesn't have to face it alone. I'll be there. I pressed the diary to my chest. I wasn't alone. During lunch, Minato sat across from me, eyes soft but serious. Hana, are you sure you're okay? He asked, reaching across the table to brush my hand. I nodded. I'm fine. I trust you. And I trust us. His lips curved into a small reassuring smile. Good. Because soon, we'll both need that trust. My stomach flipped. I didn't know exactly what he meant, but I had a sinking feeling this was the day everything would be tested. After school, Minato suggested we take our usual path, but I noticed Ayaka following at a distance. Hana, Minato whispered, glancing at her. Stay close. Don't panic. We can handle this. I nodded, gripping his hand tightly. I'm ready. As we turned a corner, Ayaka stepped in front of us, blocking our way. Well, well, she said, a faint smirk on her lips. Look at you two. So inseparable. But how strong is that bond, really? I felt my heart pound. Ayaka. What do you want? She tilted her head, eyes glinting. I just want to see if he really belongs to you. Let's see if your trust and your courage are as strong as you think. Before I could react, she shoved a small envelope into Minato's hands and stepped back. What is this? Minato asked, frowning as he opened it. Inside were photos of him and me, taken without our knowledge over the past week. Moments at school, at the festival, even the rainy day walk. Someone's been watching us, I whispered, clutching the rabbit plush. Minato's expression hardened. Hana, don't worry. I'll handle this. But Ayaka wasn't done. She stepped forward, her eyes daring us. Let's see if your bond is strong enough to withstand this. For a moment, fear and doubt clawed at my chest. The photos were intimate, invasive. The threat wasn't just romantic rivalry anymore. It was personal. I looked at Minato, searching for reassurance. He squeezed my hand. Hana, look at me. Do you trust me? I swallowed hard, nodding. I do. Completely. Then stay close, he said. No one can hurt us if we face it together. Ayaka smirked, but even she seemed slightly impressed by our unity. With a final glance, she turned and disappeared into the shadows. We stood in silence for a moment, the tension slowly ebbing. We passed the test, I whispered, still trembling. Minato smiled faintly. Yes. And you did beautifully, Hana. Your courage, your trust. It's stronger than I ever imagined. I buried my face in his chest, overwhelmed by relief and love. I couldn't have done it without you. He hugged me tightly. And I couldn't have done it without you either. We're a team. Always. That night, I opened the diary one last time before bed. Day 127. Hana has faced her first real test. She did not falter. She trusted, and together we stood strong. I am proud of her. And I will always be there. Tears filled my eyes. The diary, Minato, Saya, everything that had guided me through my second chance had led to this moment. I'll never let you go, I whispered, pressing the rabbit plush to my chest. And for the first time, I truly believed that no matter what challenges came next, we could face them, together. The morning sun streamed through my window, casting warm light across the room. For the first time in what felt like a lifetime, I woke up without a knot of fear in my chest. The diary lay open on my desk, its pages filled with the journey that had brought me here. Every warning, every confession, every moment of doubt and courage. Saya burst into my room, as usual, her energy unstoppable. "Hana! Today's a new day, and guess what?" She grinned, bouncing on the balls of her feet. "No more rivals, no more secret dangers. It's just you, me, and your perfect life." I laughed, hugging my rabbit plush. "Saya, that's a little dramatic." She waved a hand. "Maybe. But you deserve it." After school, Minato was waiting for me at our usual spot under the sakura tree. He smiled as I approached, the familiar warmth flooding through me. "Hana," he said softly, reaching out to take my hand. "We've been through a lot, haven't we?" I nodded, squeezing his hand. "Yes. But I wouldn't change a single moment. Every danger, every test. It all brought us here." He chuckled softly. "And here we are. Together." I glanced up at him, heart full. "Together. Always." He smiled and pulled me gently into a hug. The world seemed to melt away, leaving only us, the second chance, the diary, the bond we'd forged stronger than anything else. That evening, we went to the hill overlooking the city, where lanterns dotted the landscape like tiny stars. "Remember the first festival?" I asked, smiling at the memory. Minato nodded, his eyes warm. "How could I forget? You were nervous, and I promised to protect you." I laughed softly. "And you did. Every single time." He tilted his head, brushing a stray strand of hair from my face. "Hana, you've grown so much. Brave, strong, and still the same girl I've always liked." My heart raced. "And I've never felt happier." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small charm, shaped like a rabbit. "For you. To remember that I'll always be by your side." I held it close, tears threatening to spill. "Thank you, Minato. I'll treasure it forever." As we watched the lanterns float into the sky, I felt a deep sense of peace. The diary, which had guided me through every twist and danger, seemed to hum softly beside me, as if acknowledging the journey's end. I had a life I thought was wasted. I had regrets, missed chances, and now I had this second chance. And I wouldn't waste it. Over the next weeks, life returned to a beautiful rhythm. Saya teased endlessly about our power couple status, Ayaka's interference faded into the background, and Minato and I continued to grow closer, hand in hand, heart to heart. The diary remained a silent guide, a reminder of the past, a warning of what could be, and a testament to how far I'd come. One afternoon, I flipped it open to the first page, tracing the handwriting with my fingers. I was a shy nobody who died at 25, never confessing to my high school crush. But I woke up at 16 again. And this time, I had his secret diary in my hands. Every page, every word. He liked me too. Now I only have one mission, not to mess it up this time. I smiled. Mission accomplished. That evening, as the sun set over the city, Minato and I sat on the rooftop where our first true confession had happened. "Hana," he said softly, taking my hand, "what do you want for the future?" I leaned against him, watching the sky turn from gold to deep indigo. "I want this. Together. No regrets, no fears. Just living fully, loving fully." He smiled and pressed his forehead to mine. "Then we'll make it happen. Together." The wind whispered through the trees, carrying petals across the rooftop. I held his hand tightly, feeling the warmth, the safety, the love that I had longed for in my previous life. And in that moment I knew. I had been reborn not just to live again, but to live truly, with someone who would never let me go, and someone I would never let go. The diary had guided me, the dangers had tested me, and the rival had challenged me. But the second chance had been worth everything. Because now, I wasn't a nobody anymore. I was Hana, brave, loved, and alive. And as the stars began to sparkle in the sky, I whispered softly, feeling the warmth of Minato's hand in mine. "I'll never let you go." "I know," he replied, his voice a gentle promise. And together we watched the night sky, ready to face whatever came next. Not as shy teenagers with regrets, but as two hearts united by fate, love, and a second chance that would never be wasted. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more original novel stories. And stay tuned, our next story is coming soon.